Asterisk, she kicked the door open like she owned the place. No knock. No warning, just shattered wood and an angry face full of fake authority. "This is unauthorized occupancy," she barked, stepping into my mountain cabin like it was her personal. "Courtroom, you were warned. You don't belong here." I didn't even flinch. I just took a sip from my coffee mug and glanced over at the fire still crackling in the stone fireplace behind me. "You're trespassing," I said calmly. "And you just committed a felony?" She smirked like she didn't hear me. Or maybe she thought I was bluffing. "This land falls under HOA regulation," she declared, holding up a clipboard like it was some kind of federal badge. "And as of this morning, you're in violation of Section 14, legal occupancy, improper construction, and failure to register guests. We have every right to remove you." I tilted my head. "Interesting, because the deed says otherwise. And you just broke down a federal cabin door." For the first time, a flicker of hesitation crossed her face. But she doubled down. "I've already called local enforcement," she snapped. "They're on their way. When they get here, you'll be the one in cuffs." That's when I heard the chair behind me shift. My guest stood up slowly, her silhouette tall and still against the light filtering through the big cabin windows. She had been silent all morning, letting me handle things. But not anymore. "Actually," she said, her voice low but firm. "I am local enforcement." Karen blinked. "Excuse me?" My guest reached into her coat and calmly flipped open. "A badge? Homeland Security." Karen's face went pale. Real pale, like all the blood. Left her body pale. I didn't even smile. I just leaned back, rested my arm on the cabin chair and said, "Now this should be fun." Karen took a full step back, mouth opening like she wanted to say something smart, but nothing came out. Her clipboard hung awkwardly in the air, like even it didn't believe her anymore. I didn't know," she stammered, eyes flicking between the badge and the broken door. "No one told me anyone important was staying here. This was supposed to be a routine HOA inspection." My guest didn't move, didn't blink, just stared at her, cold and unreadable. "Did the HOA authorize you to kick down doors?" she asked quietly. Karen's voice cracked. "I know. But we've had squatters. People pretending to look. This is just a misunderstanding." "If I had known you knew enough to file a false complaint," I cut in. "Enough to get access. Through the main gate? Enough to bring bolt cutters and lie about a violation that doesn't exist?" Her eyes darted around like she was looking for a trapdoor to fall through. "Look, this isn't my fault. The HOA president told me you were illegally occupying this property. I was just following orders." "Yeah," my guest said. "That's what people always say, till someone checks the chain of command." She pulled out her phone. One tap. Then another. "Your name's Karen Fowler, right? And your HOA operates under the Pine Ridge Rural Association?" Karen nodded slowly, dread crawling up her face. My guest smiled, but it wasn't friendly. "Good, because as of 30 seconds ago, both you and your president are under review for obstruction, impersonation, and unlawful entry onto federal land." Karen gasped. "Wait, federal? You didn't read the full deed, did you?" I asked. "Section 9, Subclause C. This cabin doesn't fall under HOA jurisdiction. It falls under a federal lease for retired tactical officers like me." Karen dropped the clipboard. No one moved, not for a second. Then my guest added, softly, "You're lucky I was the one here today, and not the one who trained me." Karen's hand started to tremble. She stepped back toward the shattered door, like maybe walking out could undo what she'd just done. "Look, I didn't mean for this to go this far. I swear, I was just trying to do my job." Raise an eyebrow? "And what exactly is your job? Breaking into homes? Threatening veterans? And filing fake complaints based on gossip?" Karen opened her mouth, but said nothing. She just stood there, breath short and shaky. I stood up slowly, letting the wooden floor creak beneath my boots. "You came up this mountain thinking you could bully someone into leaving their own cabin. That's not a mistake. That's a pattern." She flinched like I'd hit her. "This isn't fair," she whispered. "I didn't know who you were." I stepped closer. "You didn't care who I was." That shut her up. "Yeah, we need a local unit up here. Forced entry, property damage, and HOA-related threats. Yeah, still on site. Cabin 4B. She paused, eyes still on Karen. Yes, she's standing here. No, not resisting. Yet. Karen's legs buckled slightly. Wait, you're actually calling the cops? I said I was sorry. My guest lowered her phone slowly. You didn't say sorry when you slammed that door in. You didn't say sorry when you threatened to have him arrested. You said sorry when you realized you were outmatched. Karen's face twisted. This is harassment. I'll file a counter report. I have legal rights. You had legal options, I said. You threw them away when you kicked in. Door you didn't own. Just then, tires crunched on the gravel outside. Karen turned toward the sound, face draining even more. Sheriff's SUV rolled up the drive. I looked at her one last time. You might want to step outside now. Before. They have to come in. Karen didn't move. My guest simply said, too late. The cabin door, what was left of it, creaked wider as two deputies stepped inside. Their boots hit the wood hard. No confusion. No questions. Just clear eyes scanning the damage, then locking on to Karen. One of them, a broad guy with a tight jaw and mirrored sunglasses, stepped forward. Ma'am, we received a report of forced entry and impersonation of authority. Can you state your name? Karen's voice came out paper thin. Karen Fowler. I'm with the Pine Ridge HOA. I didn't mean any harm. The second deputy looked at my guest, then back at Karen. Is that your signature on the fake violation notice posted this morning? She didn't answer. Ma'am, the first one said, sterner now. We need you to step outside. Now. I didn't know this was federal land, Karen blurted. I was just doing what the president told me, not the one who made the rules. You'll have no problem telling us everything, the deputy replied. On record. At the station, Karen's eyes darted around like a trapped animal. You can't arrest me. I'm the vice president of the HOA, which gives you zero authority to enter private federal property, my guest said, stepping forward. Especially not with bolt cutters and threats. Karen looked at me like maybe I'd save her. It's like maybe this was all a big misunderstanding that could be talked through. I didn't say a word. The deputies flanked her. One gently touched. Her elbow she finally broke. Wait, can I just call someone? My lawyer, this isn't right. You'll get your call, one deputy said. But for now, you're being detained under suspicion of trespassing and destruction of property. As they let her out, her clipboard scraped across the floor. A few fake violation papers fluttered out and scattered like trash in the wind. Yes. The last thing she said before they shut the SUV door was, You people don't understand how much power we have. I walked back to the fire and sat down. From the window, I watched her get driven down the hill slowly. Like every foot she descended took her further from the imaginary throne she thought she ruled. My guest leaned against the frame. She thought this place belonged to her. I nodded. They always do.